Granddaughter with high fever, whose Xijin urges prevention, netizens mocked. Epidemic outbreak in Chinese schools and kindergartens. Multiple regions issue notices to suspend classes. Foxcon's founder announces withdrawal from the presidential race in Taiwan. Elderly individuals aged 110 can receive a subsidy of nearly $500, sparking criticism. Youth participating in the white paper revolution. I have no regrets. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Granddaughter with high fever, whose Xijin urges prevention, netizens mocked. Recently, the coronavirus has resurged on mainland China, causing overcrowding and almost collapsing pediatric hospitals nationwide. In that context, Hu Xijin, the former editor-in-chief of the CCP mouthpiece Global Times, posted on Weibo on November 22 stating that his granddaughter's fever reached 40.6 degrees Celsius, a temperature she had never experienced before. He also revealed, the pediatric departments of major hospitals are all overcrowded. It is challenging to take your children to the hospital, register at night, and only see a doctor in the early morning. Only after experiencing that can you truly understand how uncomfortable it is. Who further appealed to society to take this pandemic wave seriously and implement preventive measures. However, this plea garnered sarcastic comments from netizens. You don't know the pain until the stick hits you. People can be generous as long as it's not their own family suffering. When it affects them directly, there's no leniency, no mercy. Isn't it ironic? Hu Xijin, with the aim of promoting the Chinese Communist Party and presenting its policies in a favorable light, consistently adjusts his stance to align with the CCP's policy changes. He is sarcastically labeled as a lickspittle. During the CCP's efforts to control the pandemic, Hu strongly endorsed the lockdown. However, when the CCP unexpectedly lifted restrictions without adequate preparation, leading to a severe outbreak, he quickly reversed his position, expressing support for openness and criticizing the earlier city lockdowns. Epidemic outbreak in Chinese schools and kindergartens. Multiple regions issue notices to suspend classes. During the ongoing surge of the pandemic, with an unusually high number of children getting infected, classrooms have observed only a few remaining students, and some teachers have also contracted the virus, making them unable to conduct lessons. As of now, official directives from the Chinese Communist Party have not mandated a nationwide closure of schools and educational institutions. However, due to the significant number of students falling ill, schools across the country have independently issued notices of class suspension, with the resumption of regular classes dependent on the prevailing circumstances. Many parents are advocating for the suspension of classes, expressing the sentiment that it's much more severe than last year. It's high time to take a break and go home during this wave. As previously reported, the unusual occurrence of a substantial number of children in China experiencing fever and pneumonia has attracted international attention. The International Society for Infectious Diseases Emerging Infections Monitoring Program, PROMED, also referenced media reports on November 22, indicating that an unidentified pneumonia has widely erupted in various regions of China. PROMED editors assert that the unidentified pneumonia in Chinese children does not resemble typical mycoplasma pneumonia, as mycoplasma infections typically result in patchy infiltrates rather than the lung nodule findings visible on X-rays. On November 22, the World Health Organization formally requested detailed information from Chinese authorities concerning the increase in respiratory diseases and cluster pneumonia in children. If it is a new pathogen, will it trigger another major outbreak? The Al Jazeera media outlet interviewed Professor Laith Al-Baradad from Weill Cornell Medicine's Policy and Research Institute. He stated that, pending further information, there are two potential explanations for the unknown pneumonia cases in Chinese children. One possibility is the existence of a new pathogen, and the other is the presence of an existing but newly mutated pathogen, with altered characteristics and severity. He noted, both scenarios would attract global attention because, irrespective of the preventive measures taken, the pathogen will eventually cross borders. Paul Hunter from the University of East Anglia in the UK cautioned that if these cases in China are caused by a new pathogen, many adults may also become ill since they haven't been exposed to this pathogen before. He remarked that his feeling is that this won't result in a sudden international public health emergency, but he won't completely rule out that possibility until we have a clear diagnosis. Dr. Jonathan Liu, a professor at the Canadian College of Traditional Chinese Medicine, believes that the widespread infection among Chinese children at present is abnormal. According to traditional Chinese medicine, children typically possess robust yang energy. Thus, over the past 3 years, the majority of children have not encountered severe cases akin to adults and the elderly, with minimal instances of death or severe lung conditions. However, these issues are now surfacing on the mainland. Dr. Liu suggests that the Chinese populace should broaden their perspectives, heed sound advice, and develop a more comprehensive understanding by breaking through the Chinese Communist Party's information blockade to access global free information. It is crucial not to rely solely on the official information provided by the Chinese authorities. Foxcon's founder announces withdrawal from the presidential race in Taiwan. Reuters reported on November 24 that informed sources indicate Terry Gou, the billionaire founder of Foxconn Technology Group, will withdraw from the race for the next president of Taiwan. Since contemplating a run for the Taiwan presidency in 2019, the businessman has been transparent about his political ambitions. Despite seeking negotiations with the CCP and serving as a vital intermediary between China and the US, he failed to capture voter interest. Terry Gou's aspiration to become the president of Taiwan is facing several challenges. His campaign team is currently under investigation in Taiwan over allegations of providing cash in exchange for signatures. The move comes after Beijing launched an investigation into Foxconn, which Gou founded in 1974, rekindling concerns that Gou could come under pressure from the Chinese Communist Party if he wins. This investigation unfolded after Gou declared his resolve not to succumb to threats from the CCP. On August 28, Gou declared his independent candidacy for president in Taipei. As a presidential candidate, he expressed his decision to participate in the 2024 Republic of China presidential election. Gou pledged to bring peace to the Taiwan Strait for the next 50 years and build the most profound mutual trust foundation between the two sides. During a press conference in Taiwan on August 29, addressing how he would handle strong pressure from the CCP if elected, he responded, "If the CCP regime says you don't listen to me, I will confiscate your Hanhai assets, I will say yes, please do it." On October 22, the CCP's official media, Global Times, reported that tax authorities recently conducted tax inspections on key enterprises of the Foxconn Group in Guangdong, Jiangsu, and other locations. The Ministry of Natural Resources also conducted on-site investigations into the land use of the company's key enterprises in Hunan, Hubei, and other areas. Terry Gou has maintained a low profile on this matter and has not commented on it. Foxconn stated that Gou is no longer involved in the company's daily operations, but he remains the company's largest single shareholder. Lai Rongwei, the executive director of the Taiwan Inspiration Association, TIA, conveyed to the Epoch Times that the CCP leader wishes for Taiwan to elect a pro-CCP president next year. The CCP's unmistakable interference in Taiwan's elections is evident through the focused tax investigation of Terry Gou's Foxconn Group, serving as a tactic to coerce Taiwanese businesses into compliance. The objective is to instill a sense of fear and induce Foxconn to gently step back. Currently, the precise reason for Terry Gou's withdrawal remains unclear, as he has not provided an explanation to the public. Elderly individuals aged 110 can receive a subsidy of nearly $500, sparking criticism. Recently, several regions in mainland China have announced the standards for elderly allowances. The Tianfu district in Sichuan province issued a notice stating that individuals over 110 years old would receive a monthly subsidy of 3,500 Chinese yuan, approximately $489.19, while those aged 80 to 89 would only receive 30 yuan, about $4.19. This announcement has sparked controversy. Online screenshots show that on November 21, the Meishan Management Committee of the Tianfu New Area in Sichuan issued a notice regarding the elderly subsidy. Individuals aged 80 to 89 would receive only 30 yuan per month, 90 to 99 years old, 100 yuan, 100 to 105 years old, 1,500 yuan, and those over 110 years old, 3,500 yuan per month. A resident of Sichuan, Mr. Zhang, expressed his opinion, ordinary people cannot possibly live to 110 years old. The Chinese Communist Party knows it's impossible, so why issue such a document? The current officials don't care about the lives of ordinary people. The Tianfu New area includes 2 towns from the former Pingshan district, known for longevity. However, local authorities stated that there are currently no individuals over 110 years old in the area. Another resident, Mr. Li, commented, "It's just a publicity stunt with no real meaning." Under the current regime, the officials only focus on corruption. In this society, they can only do some poverty alleviation work, pretending to respect the elderly and being unwilling to spend money. It's like they've done something, but in reality, no one takes responsibility. Some netizens mock the situation, saying that individuals over 110 years old should first enter the Guinness World Records before receiving subsidies. Others expressed anger, stating that the Chinese Communist Party's document goes against common sense, reaching the extreme in superficial gestures. Mr. Zhang from Sichuan added, "In China's traditional culture, respecting the elderly and loving the young is important. They should show care and concern for the elderly or children in their daily lives." Youth participating in the white paper revolution, I have no regrets. A white paper revolution has changed the destinies of many people. Following the end of widespread pandemic lockdowns in mainland China, courageous young people who stood up were often persecuted, with some seeking refuge abroad, and others remaining missing to this day. On November 24, 2022, a fire broke out in an apartment building in Urumqi, Xinjiang. Due to strict pandemic lockdown measures, people couldn't escape the fire, resulting in severe casualties. This sparked a nationwide wave of large-scale protests against the zero-COVID policy. Students and citizens in major cities such as Shanghai, Beijing, Chengdu, and Wuhan took to the streets, protesting with white papers and chanting slogans like "Human Rights" and "Down with the Communist Party." Zhang Junjie, a former freshman at the Central University of Finance and Economics, told the Epoch Times that he was excited to see videos of friends from Tsinghua University protesting in front of the Xijin canteen on Twitter and WeChat Moments. He felt encouraged that so many young students were willing to come forward and express their opinions. During the severe epidemic situation in Beijing, Zhang Junjie raised a blank paper in front of the teaching building on the evenings of November 27 and the morning of November 28. He was swiftly sent back to his hometown in Nantong, Jiangsu, by the school and admitted to a mental hospital, where he was forced to take a large amount of psychotropic drugs. This occurred just after he turned 18. For the second time, responding to the fireworks revolution, he was confined to a mental hospital for over 2 months. After that, seeking refuge from persecution, Zhang Junjie applied to a university in New Zealand. On his first day in New Zealand, he shared his experiences in China. Domestic police immediately pressured his family to delete the content on Twitter, return to China immediately, and freeze his credit cards. "Since I was cut off from domestic financial resources, I basically relied on part-time jobs on weekends to survive," said Zhang Junjie, currently studying in a language class. Although he has received a university admission notice, he is unsure whether he can successfully pursue undergraduate studies next year. He said, "I just want to escape the persecution of the Chinese Communist Party and study hard." Zhang Junjie acknowledged that holding up a blank piece of paper had a significant impact on his life, leading to his expulsion from Beijing Zhongcai. "There will definitely be pain, but there will definitely be no regrets." Zhang Junjie believes that the white paper movement is the largest expression of Chinese people's demands since the June 4 incident in 1989, with epoch-making significance. Huang Goen, a former project management engineer at China Southern Power Grid, joined the white paper revolution. He actively spread critical video materials, such as 9 commentaries on the Communist Party, and encouraged online users to defy police blockades. During the severe lockdown in Guangzhou's third year of the epidemic, Huang Gowen faced electronic confinement for a month due to a red health code, experiencing days of hunger at home. In January and February of the current year, many individuals, including Huang Gowen, holding up white papers were arrested one by one. In May, he was tracked down by the police, imprisoned for half a month, and subsequently lost his lucrative job at a state-owned enterprise. After fleeing to New Zealand, the police froze his 380,000 yuan deposit, issued cross-border threats and summonses, and subjected his family members to repeated questioning and harassment. He said, "I don't regret it, but I feel sad because my colleagues and friends were implicated, affecting their careers. But if we don't rebel, the people will have no way to survive. It is because we rebelled that we broke through the blockade and allowed others to have food to eat, to survive." Huang Gowen believes that during the White Paper Revolution, the Chinese people shouted the slogan "Down with Communist Party," marking the complete bankruptcy of the CCP's contract with the people, defaulting on handing over their rights through economic development. During the White Paper Revolution, some protesters were released after a few days or months, but others remained missing. On November 19, Human Rights Watch stated that Beijing should allow a nationwide commemoration event for the one-year anniversary of the White Paper protest, urging authorities to release all individuals detained for publicly criticizing the government's pandemic response and cease scrutiny of protest-related information on social media. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.